where you'll just lose your head.
Aslanım, Süleyman'ım, Allah her zaman yardımcın olsun.
Sultan İstanbul Turkey.
Sultanım, size o kadar hasretim ki.
Ne olur ki? Öldürsün beni. Kurtularım.
Ben Süleyman, babam Sultan Selim Han'dan kalan şerefli mirası devralmak için yürüyen, yürüdüğü her adımda adalet arayacağına söz veren Osmanlı İmparatorluğu'nun 10. sultanı.
Neresi burası? Geldik mi Osmanlı cehennemine?
Getirin bana bu aşağıdaki arsız kızı. Buradaki kızların hepsi sultan için hazırlanırlar. Seçilirsen, bir de erkek çocuğun olursa Haseki Sultan sen olursun. Dünyayı sen yönetirsin.
Guys and girls, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Now, I am gonna go to somewhere really super interesting. First of all, why is important this place? It's important in the civilization point, okay? We will visit one of the most important complex of the 15th century, where the largest empire of its time has been orchestrated. Interesting music here, probably with the instrument that you never seen in your life. But this one sucks. But cute but sucks. I think he should go to some private classes how to play that. Then he come back and make money. Maybe he's trying to collect the money to go to private classes to learn this thing better. Maybe that's the case. You never know. This is like a festival space. What is going on here? It's just magnificent buildings here. Why the people are coming here so much? Monuments and the palaces and the mosques and the church and the emperor stuff. Let's go look it up all on, yeah? Guys and girls, now I have to tell you the story up front again. Okay, here's the deal. Did you ever wonder why is an empire an empire? How many countries in the world become empire throughout the history, right? Have you ever thought about that? Today is the 20th century. I think only empire left is United States of America become empire of the 20th centuries. Maybe 100 years, last 100 years was the superpower of the world. After USSR was completely dissolved in 90s, USA has become the world dominating power. In a way, the empire remained, right? But what about 1500s, right? On the 16th century, what was the largest empire, most strongest country in the world, most influential country in the world? And my answer is, I am checking different events in the history, and I'm thinking, okay, some point was in the 16th century, the largest empire in the world was Ottoman Empire. And why it was in Ottoman Empire? Because simply they rule Eastern Europe, Middle East, today's Turkey, Crimea, most of Mediterranean coast of Africa. They even reached to Vienna, right? And they invaded everywhere, right? So later on, I believe the Spanish Empire start to conquer and then colonize most of the South America. That then become also large empire. But at least briefly, or several decades, Ottoman Empire was the largest empire in the world, and it was administered from here and right next to the Hagia Sophia. What kind of lives they lead there?
Entering the bed from the foot of the bed. So the Sultan would be waiting for this beauty to crawl from the foot of the bed and reach him.
Whatever happened that night, Suleiman wanted it to continue. Hurrem was invited back to his bed again and again.
What kind of concubines all over the world, the most beautiful woman of its time was brought to here to reproduce and then give a birth to the next sultan, who will be the world's most powerful man. And actually there was quarters of this palace. It's called harem. A basic function of it and purpose of it was only to bring the next sultan to birth. Once upon a time, the sultan was hanging out here with horses and all the beautiful women around him. He was so lucky. I'm sure you don't know the story. Listen, the Ottoman palace is a very, very brutal place because, see, in the Western kingdoms, okay, the elderly son automatically becomes the king, right? The Finnish elderly son, sultan, king, Finnish, right? Not in the Ottoman Empire. In Ottoman Empire, every single kid was born from the sultan has right for the claim of crown, okay? Therefore, you know, every mother of little princess, maybe, I don't know how many of them, could be, let's say 50, I don't know, whatever, or 10, it doesn't matter. Each one of them with their own son, you know, probably girls wouldn't be in danger, but with the son, they're under the danger of getting killed by the rival prince who is trying to be a sultan. Either, you know, winner takes it all. Either you survive to become a sultan, or you're just gonna be get strained, not killed by the something sharp, because since you have a royal blood, your blood cannot be spilled. So they only strained all the royal members, each other actually. They ordered, let's say, one of the prince get the power. What do you think he's gonna do first? He's just gonna find the closest rival and get rid of him, his own brother, his own sister, maybe from his same mother, their own blood, you know, brothers, sisters, maybe their mothers, in occasion, being killed and maybe thrown into this Marmara Sea. That is how brutal it is. Besides all the luxury and the fun and the amazing lifestyles of being exposed to thousands of hundreds of beautiful women selected for you, you always feel the breath of a death on your neck. I think this is the real deal. Maybe the payment is here. In case you never seen palace, that's how it looks. The main buildings, alright, we just enter from here. Yeah, well, this is what we are right now, right? We just enter here, the museum part, right? It's kind of smaller portion of it we are at right now, okay. How many times have you been in the palace? Like, what palaces have you been? What emperor's palace have you been? to be honest, I never been other than here. Yeah. I think I should go to Buckingham Palace, right? Buckingham Palace. Yes. I have been in Washington, D.C., if you can consider this was empire, which I do. Although democracy and everything is not kingdom or sultanate, but definitely USA is also empire, right? I've been in Washington, D.C. So, yeah, I think I've been not in palace. There's no palace. What you can call palace, you know, where the power is concentrated in one place should be called palace, right? Okay, Buckingham Palace. That means I need to go to Buckingham Palace, apparently, right? Okay, cool. Remainings of the Eastern Roman Empire Palace and the Byzantine Empire Palace. On top of that, they built that one, of course. New empire. I think the Sultan was gathering all those foreigners here, greeting them, whatever. What's up, how are you doing? Hey, give me 5, like this, Sultan, imagine. Gravitated towards here. I don't know what's up here, but I need to find out.
With Hurrem and called her soiled meat. Seyhzade Aga. That is some kind of ranks and Enderun. Enderun is the university that where the sultans are educated, right? Some kind of education you need to have in order to run and operate one of the worst empires in the world, right? Alright, this is the guy. This is newer, I think 18th century. It's supposedly entirely gold. Yes, yes, it is entire gold, yes. Some of them's under the construction. We need to go to Hurrem, right? Yes, this is Enderun. Like, this is university for the Sultan. Imagine you're walking around here, all you have, like, all you see is the people are serving you. As you walk, the people just bowing you know, asking if you need anything. Sultan, do you need anything? You want drink? You want Diet Coke? You want burger? You want to have concubines serve you your wildest sexual desires? All possible. Probably not like this, but you know, you want to think like this, I'm sure of it. There is some holy things that they brought it from Kaaba, like Mecca, right? All the Muslim Islamic reliefs are kept here. It's called like a treasure, right? You're not supposed to take pictures, so maybe we're not supposed to take pictures, so we'll take the pictures, get it from somewhere else. There is some reliefs, Quran, the Hazrat David's swords. Oh my God. 10th century BC. Guys, I'm a little blown away because inside here they didn't let us do video. I did it a little bit secret. I saw artifacts from Moses, Prophet Moses, Prophet John, and Prophet David, and some other important dudes of the religion history, not only important to Islam, but the Christianity and even Jewish religion, right? That was really mind-blowing. My head a little bit spinning. I didn't know Istanbul had these things. Damn, look at the size of the weaponry here. Mother. No one's looking at it. No one is looking at it. Ottoman dagger. My goodness. Isn't that amazing? Isn't this amazing? Goodness. One of the largest diamond in the world. Spoonmakers Diamond. Take a look at it. Maybe the most valuable one. Maybe it's not the largest one. All kind of different. My goodness, what is this? Alright, cool stuff here all over the places. But nothing like the diamond as far as I can tell. Right? There's a lot of weaponry, crazy weaponry. Yes. Let's take a look at it. This is the sacred place. You're not supposed to be entering. Anytime soon, Sultan has a secret passage to enter here, where all the beautiful women are dancing, just hanging out all day long, learning things, and a lot of tricks going on. Because all the beautiful women, all day long, they got nothing else to do, to hang out and just stay pretty. And imagine the crazy things they be doing here.
By education, I mean some religious training, a knowledge of Islam. She would be taught the etiquette of the court. She would be trained in the skill that most harem women were adept at, that is embroidery. Wonderful things.
Yeah. Right, dormitories, you see, the woman was hanging here. Yeah, dormitory, where the people, oh yeah, the girls are sleeping. Yes. Wow. Wow. It's pretty cool. Okay. There was black dudes brought from Africa. Those dudes were not Muslim because they were castrated and they were responsible for the security of these girls here. They were like, if there's some fight going on, whatever, trying to fix the issues, right?
But the guards themselves were not beyond suspicion.
The process of castration was very frightening and difficult for the boys, and often, out of fear, their testicles would retreat.
Black dudes castrated. In Islam, you cannot castrate someone Muslim. So they brought these black guys from the Africa, and some Egyptian Coptic Christian priest castrated them. And I thought, oh, this is, to be honest, looks depressive, They were hanging around here, big black dudes, imagine. You're trying to keep the place safe and sound, and then service the Sultan if he was going to receive a woman, and one of the concubines hanging here, he was going to be escorting, right? And then I think they were taking showers here. Yeah. Showers here, cleaning and
Including their pubic hair. What they used was really an awful smelling paste that contained arsenic. And if you left it too long, it could burn the skin very badly. And they used mussel shells to scrape it off. They would put henna, 4 fingers, above the pubic area. As a decorative, beautiful design detail.
Concubines were assumed to be virgins. But I don't think we can assume the naivete, the innocence that kind of goes along with the whole notion of virgins. I mean, these women were prepared for their job.
woman. You know why? They castrate them, obviously. They didn't want a black dude coming from Africa to have intimacy with this beautiful woman who brought it from the Eastern Europe and maybe Greece, in Northern Africa. The most beautiful woman you can imagine was kept here, right? and obviously they castrated them, right?
They would remain intact, and sometimes over time they would be able to function sexually. There are many accounts of the eunuchs having relationships with the women in the harem.
This was one reason why the eunuchs in the harem were exclusively African.
It was one way of making sure that these men couldn't inseminate the...
This is the black dude who was brought from the Africa and then removed his organs, become a guy, not the sexual guy obviously, between the guy and girl they consider like this, and then that way he would never be able to have sex with this beautiful woman, although some of them had it, and when they have a mixed baby, and they know it's not Sultan's baby. That's why the only position, only male allowed to the harem was this kind of guy, but who was castrated. In case there's some accident, they got close to the concubines and then mess around a little bit. You know what would happen? The baby would be born, would be half black, right? That's why. So imagine a baby is born half black, half white. Houston, we have a problem. We have a problem, Houston. Guess who's gonna lose the head on their shoulder, right? They're gonna lose the head. The head is gonna be flying all over the place. And the guy will be, of course, love is love. But maybe when they're, all those beautiful women and waiting for their turn to meet the Sultan, is just, of course, all their life waiting for the one opportunity. Maybe if they give a birth to a baby boy, that means they have a chance to become the mother of the Sultan one day. As I told you before, the mother of the Sultan is the most powerful woman in the world that time, because she has enormous power. You know what I mean? So basically, just a simple concubine who is a slave was brought to here from any part of the world, like a Roxanne of the Hurrem Sultan, might be able to steal the heart of the Sultan and become empress, which had to happen because the Suleiman, the Magnificent, was fall in love with this lady who came from today's Ukraine, and she was ginger color hair, everything, so it was so pretty, so happy all the time, cheerful, very smart woman, still his heart. And then Sultan actually eventually freed her from the slavery, become a free woman, then marry her, which was really, really unexpected. And then they created a lot of rivalry in the harem, because you can see the movie from Suleiman the Magnificent, and they go nuts.
Sultan made an even bigger break with tradition. Western observers were astounded.
This week there occurred a most extraordinary event. Unprecedented in the history of the Sultans. Suleiman has taken to himself as his empress a slave woman from Russia.
He married her, which is the incredible thing. Sultans didn't marry their concubines. They didn't need to.
They go all kind of things. Obviously, she got 6 kids from the Sultan. Okay, free woman become emperor, and then when their kids obviously needs to be Sultan, right? Her kids. Of course, there is another kids from the other woman of Sultan, and what happens if he is not chosen?
Incredibly, intensely sort of concentrated ball of intrigue. Battling, jockeying for position, hoping to produce an heir.
Hurrem gave birth to her first son, Prince Mehmet, in 1521. If Suleiman had played the game by the rules, he should now have moved on to a new woman. But he didn't.
Before Hurrem's time, if a concubine of the Sultan produced a son, then she was kicked out of bed. Hurrem produced one son, but then she produced several more. Suleiman kept her in his bed.
There are a number of reasons why they followed this one mother, one son principle. Mothers were important advisors to their sons. So for us two sons to have to share a mother meant they only had half of an advisor, had half of support. If a woman is identified with only one son, she is completely with him in this game of power.
And it was a game Hurrem had to win. Under Islamic law, all sons had an equal right of inheritance. But in the Ottoman court, the losers lost more than the throne.
The sons of a sultan were in combat. Survival of the fittest. The one who was strongest, most able, became the sultan.
The sons were going to vie amongst themselves to become the sultan. And it was winner takes all. They had to race to Constantinople, they had to raise the support, and when they were acclaimed sultan, they put all their brothers to death.
All dynasties have had problems in securing an uninterrupted and legitimate succession. Many wars have been started in England and France by discontented royal brothers or cousins or other relations. The Ottoman solution was to have a harem so there was no lack of male heirs. After the Sultan's accession, other male members of the dynasty were murdered.
If I had lived in those days, since I was the younger brother, I would probably have been strangled very young or even as a small child. But then after being strangled, I would have been buried with great ceremony, which is not much of a consolation.
Power like that, you know what happened? They eliminate, they kill them. They kill them. They will kill the mother too. And that was how brutal was Ottoman Empire. And this is how they were hanging out here. This is the music school for the concubines. They need to be trained, right? This is like, of course, look, selected smart ones as taking these courses, right? They got their own quarters. If they got, pregnant by the, Sultan, they said, okay, you know what? Here's your quarter. Here's your, you don't have to sleep at the dormitory with this other woman. So you can hang out here. Maybe it's your apartment here like this. God knows, right? The room was, once upon a time, was full of the most beautiful women in the world. They were taking showers here. And then all day long, they were like, trying to get into power. And then they tried to eliminate each other. Absolutely nuts.
It was not simply a question of who would occupy the Sultan's bed, who would produce the next ruler of the Ottoman Empire. The new favourite, Hurrem, or the old favourite, Mahidevran.
Mahidevran was the mother of the oldest son.
Absolutely nuts. And imagine how many of them been killed in the process and then thrown into the water of Bosphorus, become a fish food. Imagine this beautiful woman become the fish food. Imagine. Now there's more pretty places. Obviously, Sultan's quarter is being different than here. See, there's another entrance going on here. Yes, they got some masjids, like a small prayer rooms in the complex. There's restoration going on here. See, Sultan is working around here. And then beside the thinking about how to deal with all the worldly issues of the empire, how to extend the borders, how to create relationships with its neighbors, where to invade next, conquer next. And beside all those things, he has to deal with this, all those beautiful women and their intrigues. And they're brutal because consequences are really severe. You'll just lose your head if anything goes wrong. So they were like dealing with this one, and then they were trying to Sultan on their side, which is really complicated.
Venetian report, Mahid Devran picked a fight with Hurrem and called her soiled meat.
A piece of meat off the slave market, and this provoked a physical struggle between them. Hurrem's face was scratched, her hair was pulled.
The next time the Sultan called for Hurrem, she replied she was unworthy of his attention since she was soiled meat.
And of course this intrigues Suleiman, piques his curiosity, and he calls her again. And she tells the whole story, of course, with Mahid Devran appearing as the bad guy. Here's an early sign of Hurrem's intelligence and ability to manipulate the whole palace system.
Some woman be pregnant, so I wonder if there's like not only one, right? So what would the Padishah's decision? Oh, he was like, we don't know which one it is, so we'll have them remove all of their heads. See, we weren't successful of removing their sexual organs. Might as well we'll remove it this time their head, so he will no longer pose a threat, right? Imagine how many assassinations has been plotted here in these rooms. They were like, ooh, this is some special room for sure. Some special room for sure. Like, yeah, Walid Sultan, this is the mother of the Sultan. This is where he was hanging out. Oh my God, Walid Sultan, Haseki. When your son becomes emperor, you live here. You live here in ultimate luxury, obviously. My goodness, can you imagine this? Very orientalistic, right? That is like nothing like we know of in the Western world. This is absolutely Walid Sultan Hamam. She got here obviously because fun, I think, in that time. There's no YouTube to watch me, so they go take a shower, right? Shower with that, a lot of women together, have fun, dance together, I guess, right? This might be the places here. Yeah, see, there's another. Oh my God, sorry. So, see, a lot of shower places. There's a lot of shower places here. You would imagine they're dirty. Okay, their body hair has been removed before they're being served to the Sultan, but they study some erotic arts to how to please the Sultan. Imagine some ancient art of sexual skills. Huh. What a lucky guy was the Sultan, huh? With the risk of being killed every second, with any kind of plot that can happen to you, yeah? And the woman, with the crazy woman all over you, crazy, beautiful, crazy, jealous, smart woman too there. My goodness, whoa, this is tasteful. I would definitely say this is tasteful. What do you think? I would imagine I would have Bosphorus view instead of blocking some other buildings outside. Immediately Bosphorus view would be like a more cool for me. But you see, that's really where the emperor have his dinner. Apparently this is a dinner, yes. We didn't go to chambers of the Sultan yet. The Sultan's place where he sleeps. Is that where he sleeps? Yeah. Private chamber of Sultan Murad. Evet, one of the Sultan's room.
The court musician Albert Boboby provided a colourful account of the courtship ritual.
While music is playing, the women sing before her and conduct her to the door of the chamber, where there is a eunuch who tells the Sultan of her arrival and has her enter when the Sultan commands it. As soon as she sees him, she must go to him running and kneel at his feet. And he receives her and holds what conversation seems good to him, with the women's music continuing to play at the door while she is with him.
We got some view here, which is cool. We preferred this view apparently over something else. Some other courtrooms here. Oh, what is this? It's a swimming pool? Looks like a freaking swimming pool here. Such a swimming pool. In the summertime, with the Sultan, with all the concubines. Let's have some swim and have some mojitos, right? Sultan's favorite drink, I wonder. Virgin mojito with, something like that. Where the party here accepts people. I think something like that. Let's see. I'm sure some of you guys are very, loving this weapon. I'm not that crazy about weapons. Yeah. But yeah. Look, some of them gifts comes from even Japan, Look at that. French and Italian, European pistols are also for the horses. You put the arm on the horses, then some protection. Look at the size of the rifles. And they're being look at that one. Oh my god, how pretty is this? This is very pretty. Very super pretty. Bow, there's a bow here, and a sword. Thank you for joining to me today. I think it has been interesting. Please do check it out. And then see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe the videos if you like the content like that. Have a lovely day. See you around. I don't have a change, sorry, but it's been good. Quick introduction. The Topkapı Palace was built after the conquest of Constantinople in 1453 between the years of 1460 and 1478 by the order of Mehmed the Conqueror. It was constructed on the Byzantine Acropolis, located at the edge of historical Istanbul Peninsula, which looks over the Golden Horn, Bosporus and the Sea of Marmara. The palace covers an area of approximately 700,000 square meters, surrounded by the seaside Byzantine walls, while on the length it was separated from the city by the royal walls.